Yo, good morning, traders. So it's August 26th, 2022. And I've been doing these videos for so long, I almost said 2020. But yeah, so we have the Jackson Hole Symposium going on this weekend. Jerome Powell is going to speak, I think, 10 Eastern Standard Time today. And let's take a look at the euro. I think we have PCE data at 8:30, so in about 30 minutes now. So the markets could get pretty volatile. So we're holding here an Aussie CAD, not a dollar pair, obviously. But so looking at this right now, I do like this to the long side. We have a pretty textbook momentum cross here. So, this is looking good for setting up for a pretty nice rally. But let's talk about Euro USD. Look at where we're at. We are right at 1.000. And this is probably going to hold until, I would imagine, until Powell, and, we'll see what happens there. So this is a pretty big deal in terms of, actually, it's a really big deal. Now, is this going to hold, or is this support, which has us at parity, which means essentially I give you a euro, you give me I give you a euro, you give me a dollar, and they mean exactly the same. So, it's probably not going to stay around here for very long, but significant, area for us to just stop and park. You know what I mean? So, now if we go to the hourly from a technical analysis perspective, we've tested this key zone right here. We're right at our envelopes, and our momentum's divergent. So from a technical standpoint, I do like the looks of this going lower now. But of course, we have the fundamentals and the central banks, and it's all about the Fed. It's all about the central banks. Always has been since they started it, right? So, but here's some other interesting pullbacks on these euro pairs. Euro CAD, right? So, really big pullback into this envelope, divergent on the RSI. Aussie's been really strong all week, so super strong. And we just went over Aussie CAD. It's been super strong, so we didn't see much of a rally here. But Euro Pound, we are back to our entry point from our trade on Monday, right? So we came all the way back here, retested this zone here, right? So pretty interesting spot for us to stop and kind of park ourselves. And you can say we're like pretty much right in the middle of a triangle, right? So right in the middle of a pretty textbook triangle there. So, this is a key level for us to make our move, whether or not what happens with the euro. If we continue to rally, then, this is where we're going. So, it's pretty interesting level for us to be at. And, just deep pullback on all these pairs, Euro, New Zealand, key level. And once you start to realize that you're look for these correlations across the board here, then you can see these key levels more significantly. Swiss yen, we're getting a little bit of strength out of the Swiss too, because on the back of this euro strength, and seeing a pretty nice rally here in Swiss yen. We'll see if it'll last, is the question. We just cleared the 38.2% Fibonacci level. So that's where we are there. And, we can see this going across the board if you look at maybe some other Swiss pairs, right? NZD Swiss. So now the question is this going to last? Is this temporary? Here's Euro CAD. I really like the setup, actually, especially if we get some follow through to the downside. This looks great, right? But you still got to wait to see what happens. I think the news here in a little bit, in about 25 minutes, for the dollar is going to be significant, and then really the markets are going to be in a bit of a holding pattern, especially until the Fed happens. So so it's going to be interesting. It might be one to watch, especially if you're just kind of if you're a beginner, if you're new, if you're like, I don't even know what the Fed is, or if you don't know who the Fed chairman is, maybe you should consider just like learning more about that stuff, and as opposed to trading live, right? So that's a great place to start. So it's been a great week, everybody. The market's been a bit of a holding pattern and coming up into this point. But, I think this is going to potentially, we'll see what happens over the weekend. Maybe nothing. It's kind of like the Fed's already said what they're going to do. So who knows what's going to happen. So we'll see. But, we're going to be trading this live next week. And if you want my mentoring to learn the same approach, same strategies, get access to my indicators, one-on-one mentorship, my EA, my bot, click the link below. Let's make it happen for you. And we've just now opened a copy trade service. So if you want to copy our trades, specifically my trades, right now for limited time offer, limited time, you can do that. So I shared the link in our Telegram group. If you're in our Telegram, just like scroll up, it's in there, and follow the instructions there in order to get started. So that being said, bunch of stuff, bunch of opportunities. You're in the right place. Now it's just like on you to execute. You got to execute. I say this to myself every single morning, by the way. I have to execute. I want to sit back. I want to be passive. I want to be, but the longer you do that, the longer you get overwhelmed with fear, anxiety, uncertainty, doubt, and all of these things, man. As a trader, as an entrepreneur, as somebody that's trying to forge their own path, you got to get rid of that stuff. And the best way to do it is by taking massive action and by surrounding yourself with other people who are doing the same thing, by getting a mentor, by learning the skills instead of just trying to figure it out on your own, because you're more or less just lost at sea. Like following stars, following like, maybe this is going to work, maybe that's going to work, but you don't have any real certainty or a path to follow. So I've had to do it. I have mentors for my physical health, for my spiritual health. I have a guru, right? Like I've gone all over the world trying to find out answers about my life and just to try to get on a path that makes more sense to me, where I experience a little bit of freedom. So, this is the right place for you if that's what you're looking for. So click the link below to get started, and enjoy the day. Happy trading. Be careful with that news today. Peace.